Hi, this is Illuminated Readings, and this is a tarot reading for the sign of Gemini between the week of the 1st and the 7th of September. Let's begin. So Gemini, I've got this energy of you before you coming into the week of you making some sort of decision. You have some sort of choice to make between two paths. I feel like you've been really challenged by life in general recently. You've been feeling like there's a lot of opposing forces, and you don't know necessarily where they've been coming from, but you feel like you're being opposed in this sort of time. You know, people coming at you or things just randomly happening, in your life, and you're just like, what the hell? Like, is everyone against me or something? Like, am I being punished for something? Like, what's going on? But you feel like you've been defending from a lot of things that are going on in your life. And I feel like it's sort of put you in this energy of, having to feel like you need to control everything, the sort of greed of like, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. What everyone else does, basically. You sort of spin like maybe this is the right way to sort of be like, and sort of, it's sort of like a goblin energy of like, it's really controlling. I need to be secure in everything that I do. There's no room for me to, fall apart. Not fall apart, but like no room for me to not live the way I feel like I want to live, or what I think is the best way to live. It's very controlling, very, very controlling. You want to have it all. But in this case, it's bad because you're not allowing the energy to move. You're stagnating the energy from moving. But I see you coming before coming into the week, you're gonna have some sort of reflective moment. You might be somewhere quite high up, and you're kind of like looking across into the sky. You might be out in nature somewhere quite high up on a hill or something, and you're gonna have some sort of reflection at the end of the week before the first, about what it is that you're going through. You're going to be quite truthful and empathetic towards yourself, and you're going to be honest about what it is and what this energy is that you've been in. Like, there's sort of, there's opposition, this sort of, this challenge. Everything is a challenge, and you're fighting. You're fighting your demons almost. It's like you're fighting other demons as well. You're just fighting everything in general is what I'm getting here. And it's like things are coming at you, but you don't see where they're coming from. Maybe it's your perspective, just the way you see things, that you think people are attacking you when they're not. But you're just in this energy of, very like, I've got to fight my way through every situation, and, I'm not going down without a fight. But I see you reflecting here at the end of the week, and you're looking at yourself and saying, is this really who I am? Like, is this really, what I am? I see you've been through a lot of heartbreak and pain in regards to life in general. Like, you've gone through it. You've gone through, having your feelings really, really, really be hurt. You might have almost had, I'm getting here, you've had near-death experiences. You've had at least one near-death experience in your life. And you're very stoic now, like with how you view things. You know, you see everything in like black and white. My videos are black and white. No, I'm joking. But I see you being very much so like looking at all of these situations and saying, you know, why am I being like this? Is this who I really am? And I see the sword is, in my mind, the way I see it, and it's like this huge sword that you have. It's like a magic sword that you have, and you're going to be cutting this energy off from you. This energy of I need to be needing, greeding, controlling, securing everything that I lay my eyes on, everything that I think I see anyone, you know, if anyone I see has this good thing, I'm gonna get something like this, or I'm gonna take that thing, or you know, something like that. You're gonna realize that these things, that this energy you've been in is not the best energy for you to be in. It's not allowing you to grow. It's stagnant. The energy doesn't flow when you're like this. And this energy, it doesn't allow things to flow. And if you're constantly fighting things in your mind, spiritually or physically, you know, your energy is getting more and more and more and more diminished as time goes on. So you're not able to manifest whatever it is that you desire. You're not able to be the person you want to be. You become worse and worse. You become more miserable and depressed, and you know, all of this stuff, because you know, you feel like a part of you is disconnected from who you are, and that's because of, you know, being in this sort of energy. It doesn't allow you to connect deeply to your soul, to your authentic self. So when you're not your authentic self, so when you make decisions, they're not necessarily the best decisions, because they're coming from a place of, you know, having nothing, or having lack, or feeling like, you know, things are not going to work out. But I see here at the beginning of the week, you will get some sort of spiritual wisdom. You will be enlightened in some sort of way. You're being enlightened spiritually. You're going to have some access to some sort of knowledge. It's like you've been climbing up a ladder without realizing it. The keys are going to be presented to you of how to move forward. This is happening at the beginning of the week. The keys are going to be presented to you. I see the keys being dropped at your feet after you have this realization. But you need to get out this energy first for this blessing, for this sort of knowledge to come to you, this wisdom to come to you. You have to be out of this energy of fighting, controlling, you know, being greedy, you know, and you have to be out of that energy. If you're not able to cut through it, this energy, what will happen actually? Yeah, if you're not able to cut through it, you're gonna tell yourself some lies, and you're gonna betray yourself. So it's almost like you're deceiving yourself if you're not able to cut through this energy of this nonsense energy that you've been in. I feel like this is not exactly your energy. This is the energy of your environment that you sort of picked up and said that this is the right way to be, where it's not. It's not at all, and it's not true for you at all. I see, if you're not able to use this sword and cut out this whatever it is, you're going to be in this energy of deception. You're going to betray yourself. It's a lie. You're telling yourself a lie. But if you're able to, you'll gain some spiritual wisdom. You'll gain some ancient knowledge of who you're meant to be and where you're meant to go. And the keys for your future are literally going to be dropped at your feet. We've got the keys down here. These keys are being given. So these guys down here are asking the Hierophant for some blessings, and he's blessing them. He's connected very deeply to the spiritual realm and the physical. And the Hierophant in this case is you. And these people have, they've dropped their keys here, so you have the keys, I see you being blessed, you might be blessed by people, In this case, in a normal card, they're asking for the blessing, but in this case, they're blessing you. These two guys down here, they might be older people, but you're being blessed spiritually anyway. So you're getting these keys. Maybe you're getting them in both the spiritual and the physical realm. Yeah, I heard. Yeah, so yeah, you're getting. So you're unlocking yourself. Maybe you've not been able to unlock yourself like this or ever before, but you're unlocking yourself in the spiritual and the physical. I see this as a very strong foundation for you, for your future. It's setting you up for success, but you have to be able to cut through this, through this energy you've been in. You have to realize, and the only way you cut through this energy is not through aggression or being like, I need to fight it, or like, because this is the energy you're in right now, right? But you need to be in this energy of being truthful, honest, and empathy towards yourself, that you have been through a lot. You have been through a lot, but what your experiences that you've been through, they don't define you at all. They don't make you who you are. Who you are is who you are, regardless of what you go through. Experiences don't mold you. Experiences are just there to go. You go through them. You can go through bad experiences and still learn something and still get something positive out of them that do benefit you some way in the future. And I'm one to tell you honestly that you can go through a lot of bad experiences, one after the other, and you're like, at the time you're like, what the hell is this? I've been there. But you come out the other side and you're like, I did learn something, and this happens to me. This has happened to me a lot. And as I keep going on my journey, I'm learning more and more, and I'm stepping more and more into myself, and being more and more true to myself. So I feel like this is what this energy is of this decision, this choice you have to make this week. Is this choice of whether or not you want to reflect and be true to yourself and say, hey, from a place of truth, from a place of truth, from a place of honesty, from a place of empathy, truth, and honesty. Am I this person here? Am I this person? Am I this person or am I not this person? And that's your key here, is to reflect this. This is coming in before the first. Because this is the choice you have to make. This is a divine choice, is what I'm getting. Where what you choose here is gonna set you up, set your deck cycle up. But if you do choose the right one, if you do choose to reflect and you do choose to realize that this is not who you really are, this is just what you've been through. It's just, the past is the past, the present is a gift. You're gonna realize that, no, I'm somebody much stronger now, and what I've gone through shouldn't shape what I will go through. Because to be honest, that's a disservice to you if you allow things, especially if you've gone through like really difficult things. I've been guilty of that as well, to do, shape what you're gonna go through in the future. You're just gonna feel left out. But I see you once, if you're able to, obviously, get through this successfully. You're gonna be very balanced in the physical. It's a strong foundation for you, and you're gonna be celebrating midweek. You might just be celebrating yourself, celebrating the fact that you realize who you really are. You realize that you can be happy, you can have everything that you want. You're realizing this week, this is midweek, this is happening for you. You're going to be celebrating, you're going to be in harmony with yourself. I see your energy is very light. It's going to become a lot lighter, a lot lighter, like almost instantly. It's going to become so much lighter. And I see you at the end of this week being in a sort of energy of being very enthusiastic about the future. You're moving off into the future, very abundant, very, you're seeing a lot of growth. from this week, just this week, you know, these 7 days, you're going to see a lot of growth. Spiritually, definitely, and physically. You're going to be seeing your progress and knowing that you are successful, that you are very successful, you know, regardless of what it is that you've been going through. It doesn't define you. It just helps you become it's like a, you know, like when you chisel stone, then it becomes defined as a wherever it's meant to be. It's like that. It's like you chipping away things that you don't need, and you know, when the stone is like that before it's been chiseled, it's a lot heavier than the final product. So it's like, you're not, it's baggage, it's some things that are not worth your time or worth your energy. I see you almost being elevated. You know, you're gonna be a lot more calmer than you have been. You know, this is how you are coming into the week, and this is how you're leaving the week. You're gonna be a lot calmer if you're able to do this reflection. You're gonna be a lot happier with yourself, with your life, more connected to your nature, more connected to Mother Earth in general. Very inspired by and moved by life. Your challenge for this week, Gemini, is you need to realize that, you know, whatever this oppression is that you're facing, these opposing forces, whatever they are, uh, you know, you feel like this is some sort of burden. This is your duty to sort of protect yourself and fight off whatever this is. This is a challenge for you to, you know, to realize that this is not your burden. This is not your duty. This is not, you know, something that you should be allowing to weigh you down. Maybe this is just the way you think, you know, the way you think about things, and you're thinking that, you know, that you have to fight when not necessarily, you don't have to, when, you know, the situation is not calling you to fight for whatever this is. It's making you very, you know, it's taking away your abundance. It's burning at your abundance by being in this energy, and it's imprisoning you in poverty. That's why you're in this energy. It's burning your energy. You naturally have abundant energy, but your energy is being burned away at this point in time because of this. You know, you feel like you have to fight everything. And, you know, and being in this need and, you know, this sort of energy of, I need to secure everything, I need to, you know, be greedy, and, you know, I need this and I need that and I need this, and not allowing any movement of any kind in any way. Like, what I see is the way it has to be. Is burning your energy, is taking, you know, your abundance is being burned away. You're being shackled in poverty because of this, and it's an illusion. It's an illusionary success, is what I'm hearing. Illusionary success. You're telling yourself an illusion. You're lying to yourself. You're betraying yourself. Your challenge here is to realize that this is an illusion. This is a mirage. I see you're trying to ground yourself, but your emotions are overwhelming. You know this is not who you are. You might be feeling emotional in general, prior to this week as well, just about everything, very emotional energy. But you need to realize that, you're not limited. You're not limited. Things are going to work out for you, but don't be disillusioned by, being in this energy. This is not who you are. This is not the way you need to be for things to work out for you to be happy. There are many opportunities for you moving forwards, but you have to be in a place of abundance. Otherwise, the opportunities that will come across you are not going to be what you want. Your challenge here is to be truthful. Maybe you find it difficult sometimes to be truthful with yourself, but your challenge here is to be truthful, to be fair with yourself, to be just. You are your own justice. You are your own justice. No one can take that away from you. You, ultimately, at the end of the day, you are the one that says whether this is right and this is wrong. And you must do this from a place of karma, because the universal laws do affect all of us. And, by you being in a state where you're able to look at your situation, I see you almost feeling like a superhero when you're looking into this situation. When you're going to be in this Queen of Swords energy, you're going to almost feel like a superhero. Like, maybe that's a good idea to imagine yourself as a superhero and you're looking at your situation. So sort of like you're getting like a outside perspective rather than thinking the way you normally think. Might help you. I think if you can light some candles, scented or non-scented, and just maybe stare into the flame for a little bit, I think candles are going to help really relax you. But I see if once, if you're able to balance yourself, if you're able to look at what is going on inside of you and from a truthful place, you're going to be very abundant. I see you very abundant anyway, but your abundance is being burnt away because of this energy. Let spirit help you. Let the divine beings help you. Let them help you. I see you have a very strong connection to the divine beings. They guide you, and you don't realize it. You don't realize you've been guided. You ignore them quite a lot. That's why the message is coming very harsh, is what I'm getting. But they're just looking out for you, because things can be a lot better, a lot worse than they are. But they've saved you a few times from going down in, the worst ways possible because of being in this energy. You've been saved, the divine beings, they've saved you a few times because you've been in this energy, and they've saved you a few times from the worst happening, and you don't realize it. So these are your challenges for the week. The key here in this reading, if you can take one, is for you to be truthful, to be reflective and truthful, reflective from a place of truth, from honesty, from empathy towards yourself, and make this decision of, is this who you are? Is this who you're not? You're going to be born in you, Gemini. I keep saying Libra. You might have Libra placements, but you might be born in you. you will be born anew. Once you go through this process, you're going to see life through a new lens. From a pure and happier lens. You're going to see life more beautiful than the pain you've ever. I'm feeling your energy right now. It's very heavy, very, very heavy. It's very distasteful, like towards life. Well, I know this feeling, to be honest, so I empathize with you. But you're gonna, if you're able to go through this, you're gonna be born anew. You're gonna be able to. You're gonna be able to be happy without thinking about, I've been through this and that, and I've been through something similar to this. I know where this goes. Like, that is gonna completely go away if you're able to go through this. So yeah, outcome for the week is not the very best, Gemini. I see you not going down this way. I see you sort of being in conflict with yourself. You're staying in this energy of fighting. I have to fight everything. I have to go through this, and even though you know that you need to be in this energy, you know it, but you're staying in this energy because it's familiar to you. You're like, this is the right way. It has to be like this. This is where I've seen the most growth. But this is, you've been grabbing onto things. You don't allow things to grow. Like, if you look around your life, it must be, you can put it in the comments or something. But being in this energy is like, you're grabbing onto everything. But how many hands and legs do you have? Once you grab something, you have to let go of something. You can't grab everything. But you're trying to still anyway, right? And that means that you haven't been able to grow. Like, you tell me, have you been able to grow in the last few years? I can tell you here right now that you haven't been able to. You've been in the same position, like maybe you had plans to buy a house, buy a car, whatever, but you've not been able to do much. You've been in relatively the same position. It's because you've been in this energy. And I see you here, your outcome is that you're staying in this energy. You're refusing to, refusing to be loving towards yourself. You're refusing to be truthful, honest. You're refusing to be empathetic towards yourself. You're refusing, your heart almost. You're fighting yourself. You're like, I have to be like this. I have to win at all costs. There's no other way. And this is bringing you into this sort of energy. You've been confused again. You're putting yourself back into the illusion. It's like you're able to free yourself from the matrix, but you're going back into the matrix. And you're going back into the same cycle of being the same. So this is your outcome for the week. Obviously it's not the best outcome. We'll see how you can avoid being in this energy. How can you avoid this outcome? I feel like this energy of you having to win at all costs is like, it's so strong, it's very heavy, it's very strong. This is the way you believe life is and the way life has to be. Maybe your environment is like this as well. Your city or whatever, your town is like this as well. And you feel like you have to gain as much strength as you can. You have to keep adding up. You have to keep multiplying and taking as much as you can. Multiply. You multiply by taking is what you feel like. That the more you take, the more you multiply, and that's not true. That's an illusion. That's a big illusion. And you're going to be left confused about life. I see you almost being lost in the darkness because of this for I don't know how long, but you're going to be in this illusion. while if you don't allow if you don't allow, if you go on with this energy. You need to have more confidence in yourself. This is how you avoid this outcome. You need to be more. You need to be more confident in yourself, within yourself, that you have some sort of power. You have been through some. You've been through life. You need to realize that you are somebody that you need to. I feel like your heart's very, like, you really, like, stop your heart from feeling things, like you're really, like, in your head about everything. You like to lead with your head, not with your heart, because your heart's been hurt enough. That's why you're in this energy. Your heart's been hurt enough. But you have to be confident within yourself and know that because your heart is beautiful, things will happen for you beautifully. And that's just the way it is, and that's the way it will always be. By you being in this energy, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get anywhere. You're going to be less, still not, in a few years down the line, you're still not going to achieve your goals, whatever they are. I feel like it might be financial, it might be love, but I feel like it's more personal. I feel like it's more financial in this situation. I feel like you're trying to figure out your purpose in a way, but you feel like your purpose has to be achieved by you taking what you can and winning at all costs. When that's not the truth at all. That's obviously putting you in an illusion. It's making you confused. There's too many things in front of you when you're like this. Your path is meant to be for you and you only. But when you're in this energy, there's all these things that are in front of you that look good, but don't necessarily are good, but you're not able to tell what they are and what they're not because you're confused. But you need to be confident and allow yourself to make this discovery. Allow yourself to be reflective. You have to be able to be in this energy of reflection. You have to. This is the only way you're able to move forward. And the strange thing is that this is a major arcana. This is something that you have to go through at this time in order to level up in every aspect. In every aspect. You're being watched over by divine beings, but the choice is up to you what you want to do in this time. Whether you choose what's best for you, you need to choose from a place of your heart. Your heart needs to lead the way, not your mind. Because when your heart leads the way, you're able to see things and perceive things that are beyond the surface level. And you're going to be discovering this if you're able to stay away. So this is your outcome for the week, but you can avoid this outcome. This is not a good outcome. Even though you're going through all of these things this week, right? You're choosing not to acknowledge it. You're choosing to ignore it and be like, this is some wishy-washy shit. It's not. This is your heart speaking to you that is tired of playing this game. It's tired of, being this person. Your soul's tired of being this person that you've been betraying to society, betraying to your friends, you're betraying to yourself. You've been fighting yourself, because of what you've been through. But it's not okay. It's not okay to be like this, You need to definitely show yourself more love. And treat yourself more if you can. Just go out and have a good day by yourself or whatever. But you need to show yourself a lot more love. And if you can, be reflective. That's going to help you the most. You're going to discover yourself if you're able to. It's not the easiest. I'm definitely getting it. It's not the easiest thing for you to do at this moment. But it's the most beneficial. I see you're very ambitious. You want things to work out. You want things to go the way you want them to go. but they've not been working out for you. This is why I'm saying that you need to be reflective, because you've been in this energy of taking, and the more I take, the more I win. But you're like damaging yourself, you're harming yourself, you're stopping your abundance, you're stopping burning your abundance. So this is your reading for this week, Gemini. If you did like the reading, leave me a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back. Stay tuned.